Dark Crisis number 2, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Daniel Sampier, Alejandro Sanchez, and Tom Napolitano. And as we go into Dark Crisis number 2, I'm immediately disappointed because for all the hype, for all the buildup of the cliffhanger to our first issue of Dark Crisis, you jump into this like, oh my god, Nightwing might be dead, Chupacabra might be dead, Slade just shot Beast Boy in his fucking face, what are we going to do with all this nonsense? You immediately jump into this after Pariah gives some bullshit, and you find out, oh no, everybody's cool, let's move on. I'm like, you don't even show any of the stuff that we had the cliffhanger to. You just move past that and say, no, we're all cool.
And I like that me and you are the only ones who care about Chupacabra, but it was a shame, and you don't even really.
He's not even
shown here. They don't even care about him. I know they don't even care. Now, with that, one of the things that I saw with when people were talking about this issue, one of the things that they were going with a positive was actually the beginning with Pariah. Now, again, I think that sometimes we got to pull back a little and think about the idea of, you read comics most of your life. That's why I even put that song at the beginning, or maybe I didn't, but it works out now. But the idea that we know what this is pretty much just seeing, Crisis on Infinite Earths and him, woe is me, this is what happened. Yeah. And this is what a lot of people don't seem to either remember,
I'm tired of
read,
crying Pariah.
And so I saw a lot of people, and again, if you end up reading anything, especially Crisis on Infinite Earths, Pariah is the most annoying guy ever. I mean, he is annoying, but a lot of people said, oh man, I finally realized what Pariah is up to, what his motivations are. And I kind of laughed myself thinking, really? Because you kind of already spelled that out. There's not much else that Pariah has, but maybe this was well served to some people. And again, the idea of us thinking that everybody is on board with everything that we know or they know or whatnot. But you get that. But when you get into, Dick Grayson, when they just offhandedly say he threw the bomb. I mean, this thing was also, I just want to know, Chupacabra, did you have anywhere else you could have gone to? I mean, seriously, you go in and then blow up, but he got the bomb.
I just imagine it's like a jigsaw trap, though, where like he has a bomb on him, like, I want to play a game like Chupacabra. In order for you to survive this bomb, you need to walk into Titan's Tower.
I actually was thinking of the idea. When I got this, I thought, was there a thing that maybe, Deathstroke said the only way you can survive is you find Dick Grayson, you do that, but then he's not a man of his word, but still, you end up saying, hey, thank God he threw the bomb. But where? And who else? I would have loved if you saw it and he just threw it right back at Chupacabra. Right? But in that, you also have, some cool characters that we get from the Teen Titans in the Academy. But Roundhouse is just like, let's get going. I don't want to get him. It kind of threw me off.
The thing is, Roundhouse might be an official member of the Teen Titans right now, because you can say you have the upper class, like the Titans who are the teachers, the upperclassmen who are the Teen Titans, and you have Teen Titans Academy, all the new characters from the Academy series, and Roundhouse is a Teen Titan. But he has the right idea where King's fucking Wilson is over here with an entire army of secret society members saying, and they're attacking the freaking, like the Titans Tower right now, and some people might have just died. Beast Boy just got shot in the face for all they know. The best thing to do is get out of here and hide. I'm right there with you, Roundhouse. You are not a fearless hero here. You are here because you've been want to do like heroic stuff with your friends. But I don't know, you are not the hero type, and maybe this will prove it going forward.
Well, I'd love it if Roundhouse is like, God, how many times is this place going to blow up? Oh my God. Also, I'd love to think that as they're dragging Nightwing, he's got like 3 concussions. He's hitting himself against the wall. He's bashing off of something on the ground. They're just yanking him and pulling him through. But once you end up having, like you said, King Slade and the society come up, I actually like this. I like the idea. It's pretty much Slade's MO, saying, hey, listen, the Justice League is dead. These generation of heroes is nonsense. Nobody's going to take their place. All this stuff. Plus, there's bad things a coming. And I want to end all this right now. And then even with it where they get, he gets infected a bit by the darkness. It ends up, kind of going in there. I need to know what else is going on with the Secret
Society, because we have a shit ton of members here who are taking out Titans left and right at Titan's Tower to the point where it just becomes, a mano-y-mano against Slade Wilson and Dick Grayson Nightwing. But on top of all that, we have Secret Society members all around the world targeting other like superheroes like Firestorm, Jackson Hyde, Jace Fox, Yara Flor, Damian Wayne, Blue Beetle, Kara, and like Dr. Light. I'm like, I want to know what you're going to do with those characters and why you're going to murder them like that. But like even the idea where, Pariah's idea is we have to take away hope and stuff like that. We have to build up hope and then take it away in order for his plan to work right now. killing the Justice League is only the first step. But even when we get to the point here where we have the Justice League dead, to the point where John Kent is building up a new Justice League, the Titans are trying to build up a whole new, a legacy of heroes going forward with their academy. But when we have this whole mano-a-mano fight between Nightwing and Slade, we just get to the point where Pariah's talking with the Great Darkness into Slade, like, hey, look, I need you to stop your nonsense right now. You can't kill anybody. And I'm like, the idea that Pariah tells Slade this, and Slade's like, oh yeah, we can't do this shit. Let's fuck off, Secret Society. That stacked on top of the idea that Nightwing, Chupacabra, and Beast Boy are all just fine from what happened in the last issue. You just took all the stakes out of what we've been dealing with.
Yeah, but it's weird because in between issues and things like that, it did come out. I think Joshua Williamson, even in an interview or it was a press release, whatever, saying that this is a true sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earth. And you can kind of tell with Pariah and things like that. The funny thing, though, is that this and what we're getting in this issue really feels more like a Legends deal of let's take down all of the hope. Let's take down all of the heroes, show that they're not that great, and that's how we will win the day. Instead, this isn't Darkseid trying to set it up and go and take over the world. But I wonder what's going on with this, of the idea of, hey, don't kill them now. We got to get rid of the hope. We got to do that. Like I said, that feels more like what came right after the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths with the Legends event deal that they had. And I just wonder if that's kind of what is going on. But what is the play? Why would you need, to not kill them here? And even the society, I think it's Black Spider or whatever, says, like, let's do it. What are we doing? No, we have to go off. And that doesn't make sense.
Why is Black Spider the voice of reason? That's ridiculous.
Black Spider is. And again, you end up having Deathstroke. He is being controlled. He has this deal, but he's trying to fight.
He is leaking darkness out of his eye hole.
Yeah, he is. But he's trying to fight it. I mean, you could see that he's trying to fight it to the point where Dick Grayson says, are you okay? What is going on? What's happening with you? And he's, stop it, whatever, but we got to get out of here. But they do fight at that one point, and it's pretty badass. You get some action as they go at each other.
The idea that you have Slade Wilson versus Nightwing to bring him all back to home with Deathstroke and the new Teen Titans, stuff like that. This freaking, the super villain against the super team, the arch enemy against the superhero. This is great, one-on-one, especially to the point where it all comes down where Slade's just going to go and kill Nightwing, and John Kent comes in, and we also have a counter to that move as well, because the idea that you have the new Superman here, what are we going to do against the new Superman? Well, we have the Cyborg Superman, who not only is strong as Superman, but looks just like John's father, who's away right now, or dead as it is for this. But that is such a great idea, because we haven't seen Hank Henshaw since he had that Phantom Lantern ring, and it was fucking nonsense. And now he's back on Slade's team and wants to kick the shit out of John Kent. I'm like, I want to see more of this, because it all just comes down to this, though, where you have an amazing action scene outside of a burning Titans tower with all these Titans, at the mercy of the Secret Society. Dick Grayson versus Slade Wilson, John Kent versus Hank Henshaw, Cyborg Superman. It is all amazing until it all just, okay, guys, we got to stop. Let's teleport out of here. I'm like, why did you just end it like that? Because you would build up something cool. And I say build up because I'm already disappointed at this point, just because last issue's cliffhangers mean nothing now. Now we have an amazing action scene. You're showing me Cyborg Superman, who was one of my favorite villains in the DC universe, and we don't go far enough with it.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. But the thing is, like you said, some of the things that were disappointing to me, the idea of Beast Boy, where you do have Slade bring him in. And like, hey, look at the Beast Boy. Hey, well, he changes. I wanted to see if he got a real brain or something. And the thing was, though, with that Psy Beast, the combo deal that still should be in play from the Teen Titans Academy. Not that we love that book, but that should have been the clever way.
I'm telling you,
Beast Boy
Teen
survived.
Titans Academy and also the Green Lantern series that we had previous to this lead up to Dark Crisis, they don't matter.
No, they don't seem. And now I kind of get why
the concept
maybe
matters,
the Green Lantern, the Green Lantern and neither of them sold well, but the Green Lantern, that kind of was a book that probably in the middle we kind of got the idea this isn't going to matter.
Look,
but
the
still,
thing is, the overallness of those books are here to the idea like, hey, look, there is a Teen Titans Academy with the characters that were introduced there. As for the Green Lantern book, the Green Lanterns got separated and they lost their power for a little while. The idea of how they got their power back and who's alive and who's dead, that doesn't matter anymore. Hey, we found Kyle Rayner. Let's move on.
And the thing that gets, what were they in the Vegas system, Eric? The thing that gets
he was making his way back. He had enough of his prostitutes.
I'm telling you, and I know that, continuity kid here, but you're a little stickler for that, but a lot of people are. I can let the Green Lantern stuff kind of push aside because, like I said, halfway through the Jeffrey Thorne deal,
that Godstone stuff, I couldn't tell you. I understand.
You know why I can't let I didn't like the Tim Sheridan Teen Titans Academy stuff, but you're in Teen Titans Academy at the point. You're actually taking advantage of the situation of Teen Titans Academy with Roundhouse, so you need to go. Yeah, you need you know what I mean, though? You can't fudge that when you're really taking that as one of the basis for this story. Slade comes here to stop that nonsense.
Like most readers, Joshua Williamson did not care about that Beast nonsense.
Yeah, and with that, if you can trust Joshua Williamson, he ended up saying that he read everything. He's caught up all the editorial.
He didn't even realize that the Green Lantern was a series.
I bet you that he did. I bet you they said, don't worry about it. Don't let that be the anchor to not having. When you end up the issue and
Jeffrey
the deal.
He was killing off John Stewart.
Well, that's the deal. It's because I don't think they cared about that book. That book had get shoved aside. They want to have the wow moment of the Green Lantern Corps at the end. And I thought more people were going to get excited about it when you do see it. And I didn't see that many people excited. But when you get Cyborg Superman and you get these things in it, it starts to feel like an event now. We haven't had Cyborg Superman in a while. We haven't had Kyle Rayner. That's really cool. Two of your favorite characters.
And even when we have Cyborg Superman going up against John Kent here, like Superman versus Cyborg Superman, an amazing battle, but it looks like Cyborg Superman, Hank Henshaw, is also infected with the darkness, because when he starts blasting at John here, it's like it is a dark, floaty kind of stuff coming out of his robotic arm.
Yeah. I love the line when he says, listen, son, you got to stand up. And John says, I'm not your son. You're not my dad. And he says, neither are you. And that is a good line. That is some shit talking from that. I'm like, oh, my God, that does compute, Hank. But even then, you get Cyborg. I don't know about you give Cyborgs a bad name. Maybe that could be a song, Eric. Maybe. But I do like it. And as I said, when you're centering on the Teen Titans Academy at the actual building, and you got to be a little more tighter with the Teen Titans deal. But when you do end up where all hell is broken loose, and even the idea of your dad would be proud, John, Woody, and then you look, Gorilla Greg's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go eat some bananas somewhere. And that's when you end up
taking his Titans shirt off and say, "No, I'm out. This is bullshit." I have gone to one semester of school and Titans Tower has fallen twice. Students are dying left and right. Why am I here?
It's like, this is a weekend. Like, this thing is going down.
You know what the thing is? You guys have shown me what it means to be a hero. I'm going off with Uncle Grodd, who was trying to tell me how shit really was.
I was going to tell you. I think that he's sitting there and he's like, "What did I do at school here?" Well, I ended up getting grabbed by Grodd, my uncle. Nobody helped us but us. Where were the teachers? We had no class, as a joke. And also the Titans Tower is blown up twice. I'm out of here. Like, the idea that you would think, oh my God, you'll flunk then. Really? Flunk? I want to live. And he goes off and then probably slips on a banana peel and breaks his neck, right?
Us, and all of a sudden we unleashed the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Billy had to sacrifice his life to freaking stop it. Shit was real. I'm out of here.
That is the worst school ever. And yeah, Dick Grayson of all that. And I kind of even get like, that'd be funny. Deathstroke shows up and he's like, I'm not really mad about anything except that somebody has to stop you in this school. I mean, it's awful. Everybody's going to die. But when you end up having that, and then by the end where you have Black Adam show up, and Black Adam, it's kind of funny when he shows up, but he shows up and he says, listen, this team, John, that was bull crap. And hey, Nightwing, but that's what everybody was online saying anyway. So I don't understand sometimes where writers or even companies where they want to, get people fired up and get angry. And that's what it felt like, that team. Hey, we're the Justice League, and people lost their minds. You need to get them in a little.
Imagine how it would have been cool if you would have actually seen that team show up here, since we spent last issue putting them together.
Show why you did that and why they would have been a team.
Everything is said and done. Slade is retreated because he doesn't want to play with the Titans anymore, or John Kemp. It's like Black Adam shows up like, you are not ready to lead the Justice League, son of Kal-El. And you know what, Nightwing? I was wrong about you, too. You can't lead it. I'm going to lead it. Because you know why? Well, all this shit was going down. Deathstroke also fucked with conduct. I'm like, so you weren't able to protect your own country against us? But you're going to be the leader of the Justice League? Like, you're looking at us because we got screwed up here by Slade Wilson and a shit ton of Secret Society members. They went after your country, which you are a superpowered god over there. And what did they do, really? Because now you're just saying, oh, I'm the leader of the Justice League. I'm like, I don't see where you're coming from, Black Adam. Are you still like riding the coattails of how you were the only survivor of the Justice League and stopped the freaking darkness single-handedly? Woof, woof.
Eric, I heard he's the big dog. And so when you end up that, I'm telling you, and with some people even were, and again, continuity deal, please don't look at that, Christopher Priest Black Adam book. That has nothing to do with really continuity at the point. That is kind of a little bit of its own deal. So don't think of that. Yeah, it's funny. And so when you end up having that, this Black Adam comes, well, why didn't you do that at first? The whole idea oh, that team stinks or whatever, but everybody else was on, and it seems again like you're playing this game of trying to rile people up with covers and splash pages.
Because even with the finer points, if you go with thinking about the Teen Titans Academy, like, continuity and stuff like that, if you go with any of the fine points of that series beyond the concept of Teen Titans Academy, not only would you have Cybeast be a thing here, but you would also, on top of Black Adam showing up here, you should have Teddy, his 1,000,000-year-old younger self.
Yep. Yeah, hanging with him. Right? Yeah. And there's a lot of things. I mean, the idea that Teen Titans Academy wasn't a great series, but you add some of those kids, they have some pretty cool abilities and things like that you could gather up. Yeah, and you don't have any of that. Like, it almost feels like,
we're going to doing stuff.
I know. It's like we're going to use that, though, as like window dressing, but then we're going to get to the real thing, and it's kind of a shame.
I would have liked to see Matt Price do something since they kind of, ended the Teen Titans Academy series, saying, hey, you're like the half-son of Darkseid or some bullshit like that.
You? I guess it's one of those things of not many people liked it and didn't read it, so you can't rely on that. But still, it's kind of a shame. But then you just go off into space like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We're behind the 8 ball. We need some things.
We brought Cyborg Superman back from out of nowhere to get a smile on little Eric Shea's face. What else can we do to make his day? You know who we haven't seen in a long time? His favorite Green Lantern, his favorite superhero in the DC universe, Kyle Rayner. He's coming back from the Vega system, and not only that, he's going to have a little bit of help when Joe Mullen and Hal Jordan are going to give him a little bit of express route back to
Jessica
Oa.
Cruz,
and not only Oa,
Eric.
but Earth as well, because a dark crisis is coming.
Yeah, and everybody's going to, you end up Simon's there. He seems to have recovered.
Simon in his original costume, so no continuity. Yeah. And everybody is just a Green Lantern once again, so none of this Godstorm stuff.
Yeah, and Jessica Cruz, she's there as a Green Lantern. I think that it's one of those where that this is the continuity. Now, that other stuff, it didn't work. And the idea that DC is very...
They sorted it out.
Now, DC is not the biggest of admitting that they did something wrong. And I think that this is one of those where they're not admitting this, that they did wrong. They're just saying, like, maybe if we do this real quick, nobody will notice. Hey, everybody. But this is what everybody wanted.
Well, I'm saying this happens all the time throughout, especially Green Lantern stuff, it seems like. Like, even the idea where that last Green Lantern series, we talked about it nonstop, how it was almost a sequel to, like, Green Lantern Mosaic, where John became a mortal guardian, a godlike figure. It was a continuation of that. But because of what happened, like, oh shit, Emerald Twilight's happening. We're killing off the Green Lantern Corps, doing a new character, Kyle Rayner. Well, let's just forget all of that. And that's what happened. Let's just pretend that never happened until Jeffrey Thorne said, it'll be cool. Let's bring that back. And you know what happened? They did it again. This never happened. So much for Immortal Guardian John Stewart.
I guess that you have to remember
that's the way
that.
He died.
Yeah, he died using that. But maybe that, if they would have done it a little better and known a little better, they just would have had John kind of off on his own. Don't affect any of the other Corps. Just have him off doing something and then do all that by himself. But he ended up where I think that they wanted to have everybody, the rings weren't working so that you wouldn't just keep saying, well, what's Guy doing? What's Hal doing? What's
even the idea where guys like you've been looking for him and stuff like that. Like last we saw from what we should understand for how everything worked out, where Kyle was stuck in the Vega system, possibly getting his way back. Guy was stuck on that other world.
Guy was on that world.
State, he was going to be there for decades and become a god to these people. But I guess that never happened.
That was
somehow
averted,
Guy made himself back.
Yeah, they got all back in the
but
Vegas
that,
system.
Like the idea, like, well, Future State was averted, so it doesn't have to happen. Jessica Cruz still became a Yellow Lantern in the real continuity. No longer. She's Green Lantern here.
I think they just said that Jeffrey Thorne stuff was nonsense. I really liked it, and I wouldn't have minded her being there as a Yellow Lantern.
That was Ryan Cady, I think.
Yeah,
did all that stuff.
Who knows? I bet that they editorial might have even given him the idea, but even so, would have been close. She was just still there with them, but as a Yellow Lantern. I mean, this is all hands on deck. Kind of would have been a cool deal to have.
Kind of like, hey, what happened to you? It's a long one.
Really. And then you end up where, of course, you have the introduction of Kyle to Joe Mullen. He's like, hey, I heard of you. You're the best detective ever. Of course, people are going to get triggered with that sort of thing.
This side of the Vegas system.
And we like her. You don't get a ton. Maybe we will, but I already saw you get. This is where I don't understand. I know. You understand her gauntlet's gone her. But you end up where, and I didn't even look. Do you see if there's like a regular ring on Joe now? If they even, whatever they do. But people want the core back.
I'm not even on that page anymore, but I'm sure it's not that freaking close up.
Yeah, you can't see. When you end up, hey, I want the core back. And then the people still mad. Oh, that Joe Mullen. They just want to yell about it. I'm like, come on now. We get the whole core. Let's go. And I thought that was a great cliffhanger. And I ended up getting excited because when I first read this, I thought to myself, Eric
Ooh,
Shea
Eric
is going to
Shea.
be all excited. I do get excited about that sort of
Bringing his
deal.
boys back.
I mean, when I saw Cyborg Superman, that was one thing. Then Kyle Rayner, I'm like, what the heck? Are they picking his brain there?
And the
Did
thing
they
is,
find it?
I feel very personal about this issue because the idea is like, Eric's going to call a lot of bullshit about what happened here, so we better do some like peripheral things to make him kind
that's
of
what
happy
I was
here.
thinking. I'm like Eric's going to call bullshit.
Like a fan service nonsense over here to make him a little bit happy because over here, while you get a badass action scene going on here, it ultimately doesn't do nothing and takes all this because even the idea where I'm still waiting for what feels like Dark Crisis start. We're at issue number 2. We had a 0 issue. We have tie-ins and we have all this stuff going on. I don't feel that this event has started yet because when I think of Dark Crisis for all the lead up to it, it is fucking a bunch of big bads who are the body of the great darkness who killed the Justice League. And right now it's Pariah crying at the beginning of an issue and then Secret Society stuff.
Did you notice that little aside too? I said the one aside was, thank God Dick Grayson threw that bomb. Like, what? What did he do that? The other one was, oh man, that Justice League, they ended up fighting off the Darkness's army and quelling them so they couldn't attack Earth. I'm like, what?
They quelled them good. Well, that's what Black Adam was saying.
Yeah, I'm like, well, what are you talking about? They seem to be on they were destroying everybody.
That is the case. Black Adam, for his story, like he stopped the darkness. Now it seems like the Pariah and the Great Darkness, for all the power that they had, they can't get here. We have to sow chaos to create a crisis using Deathstroke and the Secret Society, and then like destroy the Hope in order for the machine, like Pariah's machine, to work. It seems like so we can get the Earth to actually start the crisis. I'm like,
there's like a meter, Hero Hope, and it goes, and then they can get there. But yeah, it was a weird play
a video game where you have to have a certain amount of meter in order to do something to progress to the next level of experience points.
Or you need to get to the steel until you get that meter up. You can't do your special moves.
Exactly.
It was kind of odd. And when that was mentioned, I kind of took it aside, like, really? Like they seem to be really in control at this point. Like they seem like they were ready to kick some more ass.
Justice League and like Justice League Incarnate over here. Well, did we or did they teleport themselves? Because I'm trying to remember how it worked out. But the last I saw, the Great Darkness was infecting all of the Blade throughout the entire Omniverse, which was up some bad stuff. We have, somehow we're using the Devil Nezha and Lazarus Pits to get the Great Darkness through there and bringing people back to become agents of freaking chaos for it. I'm like, I don't understand exactly because what I thought the Dark Crisis was, it isn't. And I'm telling you, it just doesn't feel like it's even started yet.
I think it's kind of a shame that we didn't have a bunch of things after Death Metal where with the Lazarus Pits kind of being Nezha and kind of infected or whatever, would have been cool if we had a bunch of characters like all of a sudden you're like, why are they going heavy on people being resurrected in Lazarus Pits? Because that annoys you. But that would have been a cool play of they were getting infected this whole time, but it just seems to be Deathstroke. But
I will tell you this, though. It is one thing because nonstop was going to Dark Crisis. All we've said is our heroes are fucked. For everybody who is the body of the Great Darkness, the army that he has with Darkseid, Doomsday, Necron, Neron, Upside Down Man, Eclipso, Ares, and whoever else I might have forgotten in this whole list here, you can't stand up against that, or Justice League couldn't stand up against that. So maybe the idea that, Joshua Williamson went in with this badass pitch, and then we took out the Justice League. We can't go further from here because the story's already over because the good guys lost. Let's nerf everything and say it's about this now because there's no way anybody can defeat this. It seems like that,
and it's a shame to think that that's like, the way that they did it because they have to fudge it. Because even Kyle Rayner's like, boy, we're going to lose. We got to go. Oh, by the way, I love it though because this issue does end up in a way of really, giving validation to what Black Adam said to everybody, like, "Oh, they were afraid of me and my what? Really? Like, no way, dude!
It's not the
you
way
just
I
got
saw
out."
Black Adam, but apparently you knew what the hell he was going on.
I think he was right. So all the joke is on you, Eric. But yeah, with this, I don't know if this is going to make sense with me and my final kind of how I felt about this. It's a very quick read, like you said. It doesn't feel like it has the oomph or the meat on the bone that a crisis does. A lot of times when you go, and if this is the spiritual successor or whatever of Christ on Infinite Earth. Some of those, and I just ended up reading it and doing a podcast about it on the Patreon. Some of those you had to read twice, and it was really tough that, you're there. It's very dense. It's very,
it's so
this
dense.
Is not, this is very, so is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because by the end,
I don't have a lot of fun rereading Crisis on Infinite Earths because of how dense it is. Because while the concept of the story, even talking about what we did with the Green Lantern and Teen Titans Academy, if you go at the general basis of it, it's an amazing story. But issue by issue, with all the individual concepts they want to lay down and tell you how this works, the antimatter universe, the regular, the monitor, the antimatter, how this wave is going to do this, and how we have to affect this over here with pocket dimensions. It's too much, guys. It's too much.
It is. There's so much. Now, again, what I said, why this reminds me of Legends, that's not as dense. That's kind of fun.
That's fun.
You end up having, remember, G. Gordon Godfrey, Glorious Godfrey's there. It's just like, he's there with a podcast and a TV show and yelling.
He did not have a podcast.
No, it wasn't at that point, but he had a radio show. He's yelling and screaming, which is funny because if you go back, actually, he started out as a guest on Billy Batson's show, TV show, and then that kind of got pushed aside because Billy ended up, actually thinking he killed somebody and stuff like that. But that's that other. But the thing is,
Wiz TV.
After this, I ended up, it's a weird deal. Like I said, I don't know if this will make sense, but I'm not upset about this issue. I like it, but it didn't give me enough to hate, or I'm kind of in the middle deal. But I am optimistic because that cliffhanger really cool. And the thing, this though, as you said, to try to tie it in my rambling, this still feels like a prelude. This feels like it would be like 0.B issue as you're gathering things. And if it was that and we still had the event, I'd be really pumped up. But we're already 2 issues in of 7.
But don't worry, we still have 20 tie-ins. Yeah, 25 tie-ins.
And then again, the tie-ins, though, we'll see next week. We have the first one of and I'm talking of these World Without Superman. This is just going to be of the dream world. Are they going to give enough of anything like groundwork for this? Or is this just going to be, hey, we have to throw it to Superman and Batman and that? Yeah. So with that, the Flash book, Jeremy Adams, okay, they're off to get Barry Allen, but is that going to progress the story enough as well? And that Young Justice one seems to be nothing. So I'm really worried that, we're not going to get enough.
Well, Cassie Sandsmark is on the case, Jim. She's going to get to the bottom of this shit, find out our trio of Young Justice members, and also possibly single-handedly defeat the Great Darkness's body.
I was actually thinking the other day, it's like Cassie's on the job. Oh my God, seriously, if you're that great a detective, I know that your buddies are missing, but maybe you want to find Batman and Superman. Do that first. Then you can go find, Tim and whatever. Just as much as, they are, I guess. I don't know.
Look, she knows that they're still alive. They just disappeared. It's funny to me that nobody else seems to care.
Yeah, nobody cares. But, it would have been funny if they're like, who are you talking about? Like, things are resetting and whatnot. But, yeah, by the end, I did like this. I just want to love it. And I want to get fired up. It's just too quick and it doesn't have a lot of meat on the bone, as I said, but it has some big moments that I like. And we end up, if anything, right now it looks like when this Dark Crisis is over, we can have a Green Lantern Corps book, which we wanted. We can have Kyle Rayner. So it's already set.
Kyle Rayner, the Green Lantern. That's all I need. I don't need the rest. Just give me Kyle Rayner.
So that's what I think that people have to center on the deal. Yeah, maybe this isn't the greatest, but if it is going to change some things, get other books or whatever, Green Lantern. We haven't had a real proper Green Lantern deal in a while, and that's already something that I want to see.
We just had
what I mean?
Oh,
yeah, really. But again, I want one with the Corps and Guy and all them. So
they were all there. They were just depowered and terrible.
Yeah. Nobody liked that. But and people who argued.
What did we do with Starheart at the end of that?
Don't know. I'm telling you, but there's
the
hell,
right? Xerox, the wizard planet of Xerox was trying to unleash the Starheart to bring magic back to the world and punish the Guardians.
I mean, it's nonsense.
7 out of 10 for Dark Crisis #2. I think the art's amazing. It looks like an event series. We have some amazing action with amazing characters that I love seeing in this. It's just overall the story fails to impress right now, and it still feels like I'm waiting for the story to start, even though I'm still enjoying most of the issue of it, but 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm a 7.8. I'm a little higher. I would have gone to an 8 if we really did have
I was an 8 for the first
something
issue.
More. Yeah, I think that I was like an 8.5. So, we're kind of going that kind of, parallel deal. The thing, like I said, and you just said, you need more. It can happen. I mean, next issue might be balls to the wall, awesome or whatever. It's just that I worry that it's just going to kind of meander a bit and then shove stuff, and we are worried. Because Joshua Williamson is not, great with endings, we think. And it's not even just the endings. It's like things start changing.
And the details.
Before the ending. And things kind of get pushed aside. Now, you can't do that in a Crisis. I don't know if you know this.
And in my opinion, you can't do it in a Flash book, but that didn't stop him during his run.
Seriously, you shouldn't do it any time.